Okay, and I'm going to share this link. And that way people can join us either way. Okay, I say let's go.
All right.
All this has been recorded anyway. Hey, everybody. And I'm going to pull up my phone so I can actually see the comments while we're going through all this. But I wanted to introduce Darlene Sochin. She is our wonderful guest this morning. She's going to be doing teaching us about intuitive development. And I've lost my sheet, so let me get it back up here.
Are you like me? You have 20 windows open?
I do, but I had to close everything down, and I guess I didn't open it back up. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Darlene. Darlene was born to be a teacher. After 25 years in the classroom for preschoolers and surviving cancer 18 years ago, the classroom is now about creating safe, loving space for those waking up spiritually to their purpose and light. As a Reiki master teacher and spiritual awakening mentor, Darlene brings a compassion and unconditional love to those who seek refuge and answers to all of their unfolding awareness of their life as it's meant to be in this ascending world. The answer is within. And the workshops, Reiki training, and ongoing mentoring and healing sessions people find Darlene for is her way of preparing and redirecting each soul back to themselves. So now, Darlene, tell us about yourself.
Well, I, as a young child, even felt spirits all around me. I knew there was this other world other than, what my parents saw or what my brother was seeing. And I just felt this presence. And I was actually, it was fear. I was afraid. I was 2 or 3 and 4. And nobody around me really understood what I was talking about. And my brother, as I got a little older, like if the phone would ring, I would know who was calling, funny little psychic things like that. And he would tell me that I was cuckoo and making things up. And like a lot of us do when we're psychic and intuitive as children, those of us who see spirits and talk to dead people and animals and talk to the plants. I turned it down. I cranked it down because, my brother teased me. It was something I then didn't seek. But then as I got older, and then diagnosed with cancer when I was 37, I started to explore that world and began to wake up my skill set, because the cancer takes you down a really scary road. And at that point, what happened was a couple days into the diagnosis, I actually had what they call spiritual awakening, where you cannot deny you have these gifts. You cannot turn them off any longer. It was the middle of the night, and I was just really scared, not knowing what was going to happen. And 3 angels, like these huge, like the room I was in, my husband was in a different room. I didn't want to wake him up because I wasn't sleeping at all. I was in this room. I was actually sitting under the desk, just scared, shaking. The room turned colors. It turned purple, green, and blue. And they said to me, they are the archangels, Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't something I had explored or researched. So it wasn't anything I was expecting to happen to help me heal or, get through the experience. So it was totally unannounced. And really, I had no idea what was going on. But they said, we're the archangels and we're here to help you. You're going to be fine. Just listen to us, listen to your intuition. When you receive messages, it's us guiding you, giving you information, telling you what to do next. And my grandma, who had passed years and years before, was with them. And she said, wow, this is okay. Listen to them. I'm here by your side, holding your hands. We're going to get through this. So the next day I woke up and I hear them say, and it's not like a voice, it's just a knowing. I have the claircognizant. So it's not a voice in my head, it's just a knowing. And then the words come from this knowing. And they said, you're going to go to the bookstore today. So I got in my car, and there was a Borders was right around the corner from the townhouse where I lived. And I walked in the store, and I'm just standing there, and I'm looking up, and I said, okay, well, this is a big store. There's lots of books. There's to the left, to the right. Which way do I go? And they just slightly, geared me towards the right. And I followed my intuition and turned the corner, and it's the self-help section. And I look at this 3 rows of books, Reiki, hands-on healing. I'd never heard of it before. So I took about 7 of the books off the shelves, and I sat there. It was a Sunday. I sat there and I read all of them. And I said, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. So this was actually before Google. But the internet was up and running. It was still the dial, waiting for the dial to click in.
Yes, I remember those days. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
I still have like PTSD from hearing that sound, like you're waiting and waiting for the internet to click in. So there were a few websites up. It still wasn't that, big of a deal for businesses, but I was in a new city. In fact, the day I got to my new city, which is Portland, Oregon, 18 years ago, the day I got here, the day we got here from Boston, was the day the doctor called me to tell me.
Oh, wow.
I had cancer. My biopsy was malignant. So I didn't know anybody or anything. So I went on the computer and looked for Reiki practitioner, because this is what they were telling me I needed to do. And there were 4 that came up. Now in Portland, Oregon, there's probably at least 1,000, but 4 came up, and 3 were easy to just put aside. Nope, not for me, not for me, not for me. And at this point, I'm trusting, going back to the topic, intuition. I was trusting my gut, because here are these archangels filling the room with light and energy. I was believing in them. So I was believing in my gut, because that was I was trusting to be guided by them. They promised. So this one woman, and I just felt, I saw her face, was the front page of her website, this beautiful smile, this little woman, her eyes just lit up with the smile. And I'm like, that's it. This is the person who's going to be walking me through my cancer journey. So I went a couple days later to her store to what I call interview her, and told her my story. And we immediately started Reiki sessions. And I went for that whole year, because I had 2 surgeries and then chemo for a year. So I went every 3 weeks for Reiki sessions to help me heal, and actually it also detox from all the toxins in my body.
Yeah.
And it was my first Reiki session. I sat up in the middle of it and I said, this is what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. And it had to do with helping heal people, and, hands-on, and helping people get through what I originally thought was cancer. I thought it was going to directly be related to that. It took me several years to figure out that was not the calling, that it was more of a, holding people in safe space while they let go and heal their own bodies, which is what Reiki is. So in the beginning, it was one thing, but if you stay on your path, if you stay and you listen to your gut, and you listen to the words that come through, or the signs that are in front of you, once you start your journey, following them, you'll lead to where you're supposed to go. And have faith in that.
So how do you define intuition?
Intuition, it's a knowing. It's just like a confidence. That's a good word to explain what I mean by intuition. So we all have it. We're all animals, all mammals, and we all have this instinct that we're born with. And intuition is almost, what I'm hearing is it's conscious instincts. So it's making choices and choosing what way to go based on a conscious connection to your instincts.
Okay.
And it's also confidence in your own instincts, knowing that you're going to steer yourself. This is your inner being that you're connecting with. It's your soul you're connecting with that's going to guide you where you need to go. So yeah, intuition, conscious instincts.
Okay.
Yep. So then actually during that year of healing from Reiki and my surgeries, I immediately started Reiki training. Immediately. There was no gap. And when you commit to yourself, when you start to dedicate your purpose to something like Reiki training or whatever the training is, it could be plumbing, it could be, coaching, it could be a scientist. When you start to commit yourself to a purpose, to a mission, it opens up doors. And so when I started my commitment to Reiki and learning and healing, it opened up all of my intuitive sights, all of my intuitive gifts that I had ever since I was a child. So it's about, choosing what are you going to step into, no matter what it is, and making that commitment, and then taking steps towards that. What I say is every single day. Every day I wake up and I ask myself, what steps can I take? What can I do today that will contribute to my purpose, to my path? And then whatever answer comes through, because I do this every day, there's already a quick, clear connection. I'll listen to my intuition and what it says I need to do. Even if it's as simple as waking up and my intuition says, drink more water today. Little steps like that. It's that simple. So intuition is when you start listening to it, committing to it, honoring and respecting your intuition. That's how it grows. That's how you connect to yourself even more deeply. People ask me all the time, how can I develop my intuition? Start listening to it, because it's there. It's always going to be there. And a way to access it is asking yourself questions, such as, how can I contribute to this goal I have? How can I open up my path? How can I open up my intuition? How can I develop my confidence that the right answers are going to come through? So just every day, starting your morning with a question that will support you in moving forward with developing your intuition. And it's not always about something huge. Sometimes it is just about drink more water today, or, don't eat those grapes, they give you headaches, kind of thing. That's simple. And if you commit to that and respect that every single day, you first of all lose resistance, because some people resist their intuition. So you release intuition, you release the doubt that you'll have, and it'll just start to formulate naturally, organically, without forcing it. A lot of people will, it's funny, there's courses to take, there's structured books you can read, but if you're just reading about it and not doing it, that's not going to help. And also, it's like just forcing it too much, it won't happen smoothly. So the idea is not to make it a huge deal. Like, I have to know. People always say, but I can't hear it. It's not there.
Well, for me, the way I receive a lot of times, it's, I'll be walking out the door and it'll go, you're gonna need your umbrella today.
Exactly.
I don't need my umbrella. Why? What brought that up? Or I remember one day I work on a campus and I was coming into campus and it said, take a right. Why? And then I saw there was an obstruction in front that I couldn't go through that way. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's that's how it comes to me. It's just a little instant thought.
Right. We have we have our inner know. It's almost like our higher self is a couple steps, our soul is a couple steps ahead of where we are as the human. So it's like the higher self going, hey, I'm over here already, and this is what you need to do. Just trust that, because, you know, there's a lot of belief or understanding that we're living, everything is happening simultaneously. So we've already lived a life. So it's all, so like having deja vu. That day you woke up and heard that you needed your umbrella. There's some concepts, those who believe that you already lived that day. So now you already know, and you're telling yourself, get that umbrella because it's going to rain today because we already lived this day. So it's fun. And that's the idea, make it fun. I know a lot of people push and push, like, how do I connect with my spirit guides, and they're just pushing too hard. And it's really all about loosening up the body and having fun with it, enjoying it. That's really what it is. And then it flows much more smoothly.
Yeah, I've also noticed that when I ask questions, it doesn't always come to me instantly. It usually comes to me when it's inconvenient. I'm in the shower, no pen or paper, can't have my phone in there to write notes on, or I'm driving down the road. You know, you can't stop and drive. I mean, you can stop, but who's going to stop? So, yeah.
And yeah, that's always when information comes through the shower, when we're driving, because it's, you know, it's a time when we're not distracted by other things. And water is a really good conduit for energy, for our thoughts. It's really fun. I love in the shower. I always thought of buying, you know, they have a box of those crayons for the shower. I've thought of doing that, but I haven't gotten around to it. Yep. And always with my phone. So when ideas come through, I text myself all my information.
Oh, yeah. I've got the little notepad on my phone. I open it up and I've got all kinds of notes in there. Half of them are good, half of them aren't. So.
And, you know, intuition is also, it's partially when you can be more playful is when it just, there's much more ease to it. So playful, and when you are in the receiving mode. So when I work with people and they're trying too desperately to, you know, hear their answers, I asked, and I can't hear anything. The two tricks are to be playful about it and to loosen your energy, loosen your body, because when we're anxious or desperate or we want something to happen, we tend to contract our bodies. So this is less of a receiving energy. And when you open up your energy fields, when you open up your energy pathways in your body, when you ask questions, you're more likely to hear the answer faster.
So how do you suggest that when someone comes to you and they're intent like that, they're real tight and closed off, how do you tell them to open up? I mean, I know you're saying open up, but just explain to my audience how you open up, how you loosen up, how you relax.
My favorite way, and I've been taking care of my mom for a couple of years. She's 88, has dementia, and she wasn't the easiest person before all of this. So living in an unpredictable environment can be stressful. And what I started to do regularly, I was already meditating, but for some people, if you're tense and desperate and contracted, jumping right into a meditation practice is most likely not going to be the first answer. It's something, meditation and relaxation, it's something you ease into. So what I started doing every morning before I would go check on mom and, you know, start her breakfast, I would do some Qigong, which is moving meditation. It's a form of meditation, but it's not something you have to sit and concentrate on. So some of my favorite ones were about releasing energy that wasn't mine. So you just, this is going to be funny on camera, but even if you're sitting in a chair or standing, you just you just bounce your energy. You bounce your wrists and you bounce up and down with your knees bent. And you just let your body relax and relieve all the tension. And you
Yeah, I love that one.
You do it for a couple minutes, and know without any goal in mind, just let your body, let that energy move, whether it's emotions or thoughts that are just taking over your mind, or you feel, or it's your environment outside of your room that you're in. You just bounce and enjoy it. And that helps to move the energy around. Because if we're tense and stressed, we'll less likely hear our intuition, or less likely be able to connect with those voices inside of us.
I have a friend that does Qigong every morning. He said that was one thing that helped his back, heal his back, where he didn't have all that back pain all the time. And so he and his wife introduced me to Lee Holden. And
that's it. That's
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so another one that Lee Holden does, I love him. And Qigong is for anything and everything. It works for pain, it works to heal, and it works for stress, works to create and develop your intuition. So the one where you bring up the energy up your spine, and then you like blow it out your hands. I love that one. So it's like almost like the dragon.
I like that.
Yep. So you just imagine this energy going up your spine, and then you blow it out the right and the left hand simultaneously. That's one of my favorites. So Qigong is the perfect form of exercise or technique I would recommend to someone who has, difficulty with anxiety or nervousness, and has stress in their lives, and they want to develop their intuition. Start with Qigong.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's great.
And then they can like start moving into, more form or structured meditation. But the Qigong is just perfect to open, because then you can go to YouTube and you just put in Qigong for stress, Qigong for pain, whatever it is that you are dealing with your physical body or your emotional body is dealing with. And you just do that. And the other key, commitment, we already talked about that. Commit to it and do it every day. Because it's not going to happen if you do it for 3 or 4 days and then stop because you're feeling a little better. The trick is commitment. And if you're wanting to do something like develop your intuition and connect to yourself, and sustain that connection until you are, you just have it all the time and it's not a question anymore. It's every day and a daily spiritual practice. And that's my Reiki training too, that I teach. Everything is every day.
So when you're teaching the class, how do you start the class off to help them get comfortable and then start listening?
That's a great question. I love that. It will often depend on where we are. One of my favorite places to teach Reiki is outside. So what I would have us do is usually sit on the ground and do some.
Oh, nice.
And I would always look for a tree to sit next to. So I pull in a guided meditation so that we can develop a connection to the tree and ground and connect our wires with the tree and the roots. But if it's inside, doing some grounding energy first I do and clear the room before the client or the student even comes in, and then we'll do some grounding work and then clear out whatever they brought there. I love doing that. Make sure whatever you brought here, you can pick it up on your way out, but when we come into the space, just leave it outside the doorway. And then that gives them almost like a visual and a palpable step to take so that they can leave their stuff over here, and then they're clear and ready to receive information. Yep, getting rid of the junk that they don't need.
So then what's the first step you have them go through after they've gotten into the room or sat on the ground and gotten grounded and cleared their stuff? Then what do you do?
Well, depending on what they're there for, if they're there for Reiki, I ask them about, do they have a daily practice? And we talk about what that looks like, what it really looks like and feels like. It's not just going through the motions. So we discuss what it is, like no judgments. We discuss what it is they're already doing, or what they feel as if their obstacles are. So some people will say, well, I have kids. Or I have to get ready for work. I have a very stressful morning. There's no way I can possibly fit that in. So we talk a little bit about, what some different options look like according to their particular life. So it's not going to be, it's one of the things I enjoy about my work is for each person, the answer is going to be different because everyone's life looks different. And everyone has their own resistance to something, right? So I tap into what their possible resistance is. And then we work from there. So it'll look different. Once I get to that point, it'll look different. But we always start with, let's look at your daily practice and what you can do to add to that or shift that up, because that's the answer to everything. What does your daily spiritual practice look like?
Nice.
And what I find is for most people, the answer happens to be doing something outside, even if it's later in the day, making that connection. Our bodies, in the 18 years I've been doing this work, what I've found is the human body, how much it needs. It almost seems to a lot of us who understand it, it seems, well, of course, but it's something that most people don't think about, how much they need that interaction with nature. Everything is out there. And I find that we can quickly connect to source and that intuitive part of ourself. It happens a lot faster if we're outside.
Yeah, I agree. And we're so used to being outside of our own bodies anyway, so to make yourself come back into your body, people don't even realize they're not in their body. When they're airy, when they feel airheaded, when they're brain fog, when they're tripping on nothing. I do that a lot.
My life.
It means you're not in your body anymore. And so you've got to bring yourself back into your own body. So go through maybe a little exercise to maybe help us bring us back to our own bodies. Just sitting here in the chair, what would you suggest we do?
Oh, that's a good idea. So if you wanted to close your eyes, then the first thing to do is feel and make sure you can put your feet on the floor. And really, really, and if you can take shoes off, if you have your shoes on, if you can take your shoes off and really, really connect with your bottom of the feet, with whatever surface. Because we actually have acupressure points on the bottom of our feet that wake up all of those pathways so that we can actually feel our bodies. So just get a connection with the ground and your feet. And then imagine that the earth energy that is under you, just breathe that up your legs, up your feet, into your legs. Let it rise like energy that's coming up a volcano. Let that energy rise up through your knees and your thighs. Imagine that warm earth energy coming from volcano energy, rising up to your hips and your glutes and your bottom, and take note of what it is you're sitting in, what's supporting you, making contact with your bottom and the chair that you're sitting on. And allow that warm volcanic energy to continue rising into your lower back, up into your abdomen and all of your organs, and lean your back into the surface that you're sitting on. And allow this volcanic energy to continue rising up your hands and your arms and your shoulders, up into your chest, warming your heart, your upper back. Invite this warm volcanic energy to just slowly, gently warm your throat. You can breathe out a little bit. It's important. It's time for us to be speaking and talking and telling our truths. So let's warm up that throat some more. Now allow that, invite that volcanic warm energy up into your jaw, and your face, and your ears, behind your eyes, and warm all the way to the top of your head. And just let that warm energy swim around in all of your veins and arteries. Warm all of your organs. You might even feel your fingers getting warm and your feet getting warm. And your crown tingle, the top of your head. Allow the top of your head to tingle. And take some breaths here. And just imagine the energy swarming around inside your body. Warm earth energy. And when you're feeling all warm and tingly from your head to your toes, take one more inhale and exhale, and then open your eyes.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
You're turning red. Your face is red. That was fun. Yeah. So doing something like that is really helpful to connect with earth energy. That's how we bring ourselves to the body. We are making the body safe to enter into, because for so many people, one of the reasons they leave their body is because they don't feel safe in it. So if you connect your body with earth energy, you're creating this natural sensation that the body has, that we're not even always conscious of, that the physical human body has to nature. So when we invite that in, you're creating that safe, natural space, as well as getting all of your energy moving and flowing, opening up all those acupressure points and activating your life force energy, which is Qigong as well. And so I would have to say the basics, once someone is interested in starting to develop their intuition, the basics really lie with opening up your life force energy and tapping into that, moving, because what's going to happen is anything that's stagnant, like fear, grief, all of our emotions that we've held on to our whole lives, moving your energy, getting your life force energy flowing will move all of that stuff out of the way. And then you become a clear channel to receive the information that you seek.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And on top of that, when you're doing all that moving and getting rid of all that excess energy or the blocked energy, your body feels better. Your whole life feels better. Your
Everything.
demeanor is better. Your
Mhm.
attitude's better.
Yep, you can move. It's physical and emotional. And that's what, yeah, it's doing everything. Because a lot of times when people study something, they'll just study one aspect of it. But this is body, mind, spirit.
I was going to say, this is the total embodiment of it.
Mhm.
Oh, I love your cup. That's my favorite symbol.
Me too. And my name, a Reiki client of mine made that for me.
Oh, that's
I
beautiful. I love
love
it.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about it?
So it's really what I really love to talk to people about is that commitment and being accountable to yourself every single day. And the excuse, it's like creating a new habit. It isn't always easy, and a lot of excuses are going to come up. We procrastinate, but just remember it's there. It's not even something, it's not that you have to develop your intuition. What you have to do is open up the connection to it. So doing simple things every day, like waking up every day and asking, what can I do today to develop that connection? What's something fun I can do today to develop that? And, if you can do it with a friend, that way you keep each other accountable, or you start to notice when you are making excuses or you're seeing obstacles instead of opportunities. So sometimes you'll just wake up and you'll see all the obstacles about why you can't do that today. Instead, wake up and see where you have a few minutes, where you have the opportunity rather than focusing on the obstacles. Wake up, where do I have the opportunity today to connect to that intuition, to myself, to my desires, to my dreams? Make it fun. And it only has to be a couple minutes to start, 2 minutes a day. So even if, that could be in the bathroom, could be in the shower, could be while you're brushing your teeth or while you're making breakfast. 2 minutes a day is a great way to commit and start the practice.
And so part of what I'm hearing too is awareness. Awareness is very important. Pay attention.
Yes.
And don't just assume it's your random thoughts, but that it is actually your intuition talking, communicating with you. That'd be a better way to put it.
Yep. Your inner self, your soul, your higher. Yep. Absolutely.
So have fun, relax, get in your body, be aware, listen, learn how they communicate, how it communicates with you. Anything else?
And it's already there.
It's already there.
Everything is already in you.
And you've probably been listening to it every day and didn't realize that's what was going on.
Exactly. Well, thank you. This was very fun to talk about.
I enjoyed it. So do you have a program or anything you want to talk about, or about your services or anything?
Well, I do have something really cool coming up, but it's not ready yet. I'm launching a new business, but I'd love to come on and talk about that another time. What I do offer is to help people keep accountable to themselves, to their daily practice, or just committing to their soul growth, committing to their intuition, trusting themselves. Is I do monthly mentoring with my clients. That's what I'm working on right now with most of the people I work with. I see them twice a month on Zoom, and we practice and talk about meditation and what it is, what they might be struggling with, and we look at, so it's more mentoring and also healing whatever obstacles that they feel are in their way. So two sessions a month, and it's an ongoing mentorship program. So what I'm thinking of doing is turning it into a 6-month commitment. So for six months, you meet on Zoom with me twice a month, and we look at your daily practice, how you feel it's going, and we keep you on track. And I just love it. And, intuition comes up, psychic readings, Akashic record reading, Reiki healing. It's all within those 2 sessions a month that I do with my clients. It's whatever, like, I trust my intuition. I tap into the energy of each person. And for that session, we do what we're guided to take them through that day.
That sounds very powerful.
I love those. And it all started because during the pandemic, most of the people that came to me for sessions were actually therapists, counselors. And that's how it turned into this, twice a month, come for this amount of time and we'll mentor, we'll walk through. It's almost like, counseling and therapy. And so doing that work with the therapist, teaching them Reiki, turned into this type of mentoring.
So we've got your link tree here. Which one of those is it? I didn't see it, or maybe I overlooked it. Which one is it?
That's a good question. If you go to my website,
monthly mentoring and Reiki healing sessions.
Yes, that's
okay. So we have Darlene's link tree in the description of the video here, and it says monthly mentoring and Reiki healing sessions for healers and empaths. So that would be it. That would be the link you'd want to do.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Well, Darlene, thank you so much. This has been so informative, and I hope everybody's learned something today. This has been fun.
I appreciate you inviting me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And so I love my people, and I will see y'all later. And thank you, Darlene. I appreciate it. Just hang on just a minute.